around that Panda now. Panda, Archmage in a bit of trouble getting bolted and getting hit by the water elementals, and the Hawks Archmage goes down. Very, very nicely played there by him. Spike. So let's just see if we can skip through this. I think I'm a bit behind. So they're both, actually it looks like they both had a bit of spikes. So yeah, we are now resuming. Oh, it looks like we were going to resume. Yeah, okay. RohJinWook saying go, and we are back. Sorry about that, folks. Unfortunately, I was a bit behind live, so I could afford to just go a bit quicker there, and we could dodge, because that would have been a significantly longer lag otherwise. But anyways, RohJinWook really sort of moved himself into the driving seat now. Neither side has an expansion, but RohJinWook could quite easily go for one now, and this is a quite nice time to capitalize. Obviously, Hawk with that level 3 Archmage being forced to be revived at the altar, obviously, and so that's going to take him a while. Archmage is generally quite a good hero to tavern back, really, because obviously his mana comes back quite quickly on its own, and he has so low hit points that a couple priests can heal him up quite quickly, and almost level 5 now on this Archmage, as the observers are saying, and that's just going to be so nice, because it's going to really mean that those level 3 water elementals are just so powerful, and level 2 on that Mountain King as well, picking up an, ooh, wow, Potion of Greater Mana and Potion of Invulnerability. Really nice items there for that Mountain King. Obviously Mountain King has to tank a lot and has to bolt a lot, so some really nice nice items for him. And meanwhile, dual Arcane Sanctums, I think, for both sides. Actually, is there a second? Yeah, there are 2 for both sides, and they're basically just going to be going for Breaker Wards from this point on, which is a bit of a shame, but certainly such an exciting match up to this point. I do sort of get quite lucky in that sense, just in terms of sort of it does often work out quite well, and it is just a coincidence, really, and I'm sort of often amazed by how lucky I get. I think also it is more interesting to commentate a match than to just watch one, and I think they're both getting a bit of lag here. RohJinWook saying, "What are you doing, host?" Which is a bit of a shame, but certainly we're seeing a high enough level of game that I think it more than makes up for the small discrepancy. And actually a 50 food now for Hawk, and 46 or 49 to 46, so pretty close sizes at this point. And finally level 5 on that Archmage. That level 3 water elementals just to be able to rip through those Sorks and priests, but if it can get dispelled, and I think we did see, yeah, dispel has been researched for those priests, and the Archmage is back, but it's 2 levels behind, or really 1.2 levels behind. But RohJinWook now setting up an expansion, and I think that expansion could be the clincher. Some really nice play by RohJinWook has managed to keep him in this game, and I think he's just gonna, like, obviously in such a close mirror match, having sort of vastly increased economy just helps so much. It's not like in a normal match or a non-mirror match where you can sort of get a unit advantage, but this is sort of such a close mirror match that you really can't get that sort of thing without amazing micro, which apparently on this house is pretty hard to get. And we are now seeing sort of little skirmish here, and these some spellbreakers out for both sides. Obviously breakers want to attack either the Panda or the Mountain King, depending on what side you're on, because they're quite easy targets, and their mana is really important. And RohJinWook not actually has his Archmage in a really weird place, but it looks like it's not. Hawk isn't actually capitalizing on that. Finally doing some focus on that Archmage. Archmage does have an invuln pod if he needs it, and he is taking a fair bit of damage. Meanwhile, I thought the Archmage was being chased down, but I think the Mountain King changed its focus. But this Archmage at very low health will need to be healed up by these priests, although the priests actually running a different way now. A bit of a miscue there. And the Panda now in a bit of trouble. Panda being forced to run away, and finally that Archmage, no, still not being healed up. Yeah, finally that Archmage is being healed up, and the Mountain King is now has now got one bolt off on that Panda. Panda being forced to get out of there, because obviously the Mountain King just has so much mana, even with that, or with that level 2 mana regeneration, and he's just able to do so much, and that Panda does go down finally. So some really nice play there by RohJinWook, managing to take down these units, and he really just pushes advantage at this point, probably pushing to the base. Militia finally being brought in now, and I did think at the start of this space, at the start of that fight, that RohJinWook was in a pretty bad position for a militia to come in, and I think he managed to move around enough that he didn't actually. The militia had a significantly smaller effect, and that water elemental does get taken down before it can take down a militia, but that's certainly not too bad, because it means that you can actually get away without any of your actual units taking damage. And these still 0/0 upgrades. I'm not sure if we have any blacksmith. Excuse me. No blacksmith, and yeah, we do have a blacksmith for Hawk, so we might see some upgrades for him. Certainly getting upgrades on your breakers is pretty nice if you can afford it, and through that, generally if you're at 50 food or you're pretty close to 50 food and you have a lot of breakers, getting those upgrades is a pretty good deal. And ooh, not a great item of strength and intelligence for that Archmage. I mean, it's not bad, but certainly an aura item probably would have been a bit better. I guess it's okay against a Mountain King, but certainly it's not the item that he would have wanted, I imagine. And oh, Panda's still not back, and this author could be focused down now. That'd be really, really bad. Although RohJinWook taking a lot of focus on his Mountain King from that Arcane Tower is down to pretty much 0 mana now on his Mountain King, and we'll need to we'll now not be able to bolt, and instead we'll have to just use it as basically an expensive footman. And that Panda actually taking, or sorry, the Mountain King taking a lot of damage, but having Inner Fire stolen now by those breakers. Some really interesting play. Obviously, Hawk stole the Inner Fire, and then the Inner Fire was stolen from him, and the Inner Fire has now been stolen from the Mountain King onto a water elemental, which was subsequently dispelled. And the Panda is now finally out. Uses one Breath of Fire as soon as possible, and then probably will take a bit of focus from Spellbreakers, and Panda down to really the health, being forced to use his greater invuln pot. Sorry, did I say Panda? I meant Mountain King. And Mountain King will just have to run out of there. He will be healed up a bit, but as soon as his invuln pot runs out, he will be so vulnerable. And losing a level 3 Mountain King is actually pretty bad. And the heal drill being popped now, and that Mountain King actually looking like it could go down. Well, wow, it does go down. RohJinWook a bit careless there. Level 6 though on that Archmage, and that's such a fun ultimate. But Archmage actually now taking a lot of focus, so won't be able to use his ultimate immediately. He doesn't have the requisite 100 mana, and RohJinWook now pushing in, but maybe a bit too far. It might be better for him to try and move out here, and just wait for his expansion to really pay off. I think his expansion is now up and running, so he does really just need to sort of play the long game here. He is sort of taking down a few units, but I think he will be better just to try and run out of here. He has enough breakers that slow shouldn't affect him too much, and he is sort of doing a fair bit of damage, but these militia are actually so good against breakers that he is losing a couple now, and obviously with the Arcane Towers it means he can't summon any more water elementals, and some pretty nice micro here, trying to get these Spellbreakers to safety, but Hawk just using his militia to pick them off one by one, and it looks like RohJinWook's going to lose to 2 breakers in rapid succession, and this is really why I don't think the Panda is a brilliant choice in this late game, and I think sort of Hawk was expecting to end it a lot earlier, and some really nice play there by Michael actually kept him in the game, and looks like Michael is now running away, but it will lose at least 1 priest here, if not more. Looks like the Sorks are sufficiently far behind though that they're not going to get any slow. Actually, maybe we're done with Sorks now. Obviously they were around for a lot longer than normal, just because generally you have a pretty even tech. And so you don't Sorks aren't too useful because of breakers, but in this case they actually were pretty useful for Hawk. But it looks like the last Sorks were killed, and I doubt he'll be rebuilding them. Maybe he will, but no, it doesn't look like it, because obviously actually invisibility is pretty nice. But some pretty bad luck for RohJinWook. I think he was hoping to get these breakers away, or maybe he was just hoping to get them killed by the creeps, and it looks like that's what he did do, but it means that Hawk's going to be able to creep out this on his own, and running his level 5 Archmage away so that the Panda gets all the experience. And we did see that those actually got cut up a bit. Those breakers got cut up a bit there, just because the area of effect for the mass teleport is much smaller than the area of effect for Scroll of Town Portal, and now some really sort of intense laning coming in now for RohJinWook. Such a powerful strategy. Ooh, actually, Clarity is being used on the Mountain King, but is immediately cancelled and then loses all his mana, so really not the best use. TPing coming in here from Hawk, actually a very nicely positioned one. Bloodlust now being used on that Archmage, obviously stolen again, and Archmage will need to get out. Will you need to use a TP or a we'll have to see if he uses TP or just mass teleport, but he does need to get out of there one way or the other. This is actually a really bad position for RohJinWook. Some of his breakers being cut out of position a bit here, and invuln pot being used on an Archmage. Obviously RohJinWook just wants to stick around for as long as possible. Look, he's picking up militia now. I guess he's decided they're a much easier target than his breakers, but Mino actually losing a priest as well now, and almost loses 1 breaker at the end, but just manages to get it away, and gets a final couple of peasant kills as well. So Hawk now really needs to take out this one, or really needs to rebuild his peasants, and then take out this town hall, which he has now scouted. I'm not sure. I don't think he had scouted it before now, which is obviously really bad in its own right. And Michael maybe should go up to the healing fountain and heal just while he has a bit of time, just because he has taken a lot of damage on his Archmage, and he is finally using Priest to heal it up. Obviously, Priest on autocast won't necessarily go for your high priority for your heroes and things like that. They'll go for whatever has the lowest hit points in terms of percentage. And so RohJinWook going straight back into the base and now just taking it out. And I'm not sure, does Hawk does have a TP, but it'd be very expensive to keep on doing this. We'll have to see whether or not he goes for it. He is probably just going to take out these sort of remaining couple peasants and then TP back. Maybe he's actually going to try and take out the base. Yeah, it looks like he's going for the base. And we know RohJinWook was much less organised in terms of what he takes out. He's taken out the peasants, but it won't manage to take out this keep, and will need to TP away pretty promptly, or he could get caught in a very bad position. Actually, this is really bad for RohJinWook. He will need to use his mass TP as soon as possible. The Archmage actually getting caught out there. Some nice bolt usage there by him. Actually manages to, and actually it dispels as well, manages to clear the path so that Archmage can get out of there. And meanwhile the Panda's now taking a lot of damage as well. Does have a healing potion in it, which he should pop.